बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। आप सबको salam, greetings, good morning, good afternoon, whatever time is there. Bless you all. Today I would like to share with you my experiences and my lessons learned as a student of education in Pakistan. I learned from the communities and engaged with them since last almost 40 years across the country. And I came across a lot of realization that how education has been hijacked by the institutions. Institutions, university, schools, colleges, these institutions are taken as education. If you do not go into them, you are not considered educated. While education and institutions are two separate things. Education is losing its ground and its strength and its power because it is uh, completely uh, in the control of the institutions, in the control of the regimes. And in such a situation, how can education do or fulfill its own meaning? Education means critical thinking. The young generation should know and practice and should be well aware of the power of critical thinking. Without critical thinking, there can be no research, there can be no innovation, there can be no advancement on reality. Of course, there can be copying or aping some of the cultures, but not really education, not really intellect. Then the other thing is that it has reduced, education has been reduced to prepare to make money. Education was never supposed to train a person to make money. It was always for enlightenment, or for freedom, for supporting each other as a human, to empower the humanity, to inculcate the values and ethics of humanity. That is what education was supposed to be. It has always been. At least it has been in our part of the region, in most of South Asia and our Gulf country, Iran, Iraq, Arab. These are the places where education was never considered as a means of making yourself rich. It was always to enrich the society, the humanity. With this background, I started exploring that why our youth of today are not interested in their own history. They are not interested in their own economic empowerment, that they grow on their resources. What are they aiming for? Where are they heading? Interestingly, they are aiming for shortcuts in life, getting a huge amount of money in a very young age, fast track, overnight richness, glamour, and copying the values of modernity without really being modern, understanding modernity and really being modern inside themselves. Uh, just practicing what they see without going into detail in the depth of what they're seeing. These are the things that made me feel that I have to really focus myself on alternatives, alternative ways, methods of education. Majority youth, majority population of our country is outside the institutions who are responsible to provide education. And the ones who are inside, they are unable to defend their credentials, most of them. So what good it is? What are we doing? Where are we going? What are all these expenses and huge infrastructures in the name of education? My lessons has been how I learned all this. I came to understand this basically my time in Balochistan when I was working to establish more than 2,200 schools across Balochistan for girls. This was a program that government wanted me to help and to break the barrier between for the girl child to help her go to school and to get education. This was the time, the 5 years, that re-educated me, and I understood so well, so deeply, that what education is and what is school about everything. This program enrolled about more than 200,000 girls within 5 years for the first time in the history of Balochistan. But for me, it was an eye opener. And immediately after that project, I established Institute for Development Studies and Practices, where we designed courses for the young people any young person can come in our institute who has an idea for change, and who can explain the change that he or she is aiming for. And they can come, whether they have been to school at all, whether they are literate or not literate, whatever is their position, we don't consider that. We don't need any credentials. To date, about 8,000 young people have graduated from our institute, and we are now in our 25th year. These practices has led us in the creation of University of Community Development. All the experiences that we had experienced since 98 through IDSP is being culminated and consolidated into courses for University of Community Development. What is University of Community Development? It has a framework of intellectual framework that is guided by its 7 thematic areas: self-development, education, radical education, critical pedagogy, media and its hegemony, market economy, history and resistance, gender lens, and sustainable life and living. These 7 themes gives a framework to our practices with young people to help develop their own self from inside and be able to get into a research mode to find out their own reality, their own basis. Then link their own reality of inner self with their own family. Get back to the family. Education, the system of education has done one more thing. It made the young people believe that your family, your elders are outdated. They are no more. They have no more, nothing to offer you. So there's a deep, dangerous disconnect from the young people and his or her own family. We get it reconnected by helping the young person trace his or her own family history. At the third level, using the 7 thematic framework, at third level, he or she goes out into the community and create community projects with his or her own people and try to solve and address the challenges that his or her own people faces. In the process, he or she learns, get confidence, and stand up on his or her own original ideas and leadership that emerges. At the fourth level, this young person is very well on internet and very well connected globally for his own kind of people across the world who are doing the same thing or who are thinking the same way. So from self to globe, this is the process of learning, but it has to be guided by the 7 thematic areas for intellectual activism. We do not call ourselves academic institution. We call ourselves that our identity is intellectual activism. Intellect, if not does not transforms into activism, is just a good means of good conversation sitting in a nice decorated uh, drawing room. Uh, no, we have to take it out and to the youth and let them taste it and practice it and get empowered through it. There are such great outcome of this process that it fascinates me. Our young people have gone into deep, long-term processes of community-based development and has helped change the policies. Demonstrated so powerfully, the government had to change their policies in maternal health care, in girls' education, in agriculture, in water supply, in farming. Recently, about 300 farmers are now enrolled in these universities who have never been to any education institution. But in their own profession, they are like professors, they are PhDs, the farmers who grow food. So we are learning from them, and they come over, and mutually we learn. What they don't know, we teach, and what we don't know, we learn from them. This is the kind of place University of Community Development is. Seeing the impact, the government of Balochistan leased 4 acres of land to us, and we have constructed a campus on it with in the same type of construction that the people live in, the communities live in, mud structure. Our entire campus is of mud structure because majority people across Pakistan, especially in Balochistan, lives in mud structures. And that is so scientifically so great. The mud structure is warm in winters, cold in summers, does not require much maintenance of according to the weather, and the people come and build it. It's the community who builds it. We are totally off the grid. We have wind energy and solars, and we take water from rain harvesting. All this is now being learned by the young people how to be self-sustained and not to really crave for what you have to import from outside. Create yourself and live in it. We have models of good livelihood and good living. So let's look at it. And it's all scientific. The world is coming back to it. One very challenging area is the media. The way media is on our young people, it's like a war, media war on our youth. Who is that media is showing very very fakely, very falsely that only modernity is the way of life, and how to be modern means to go into the glamour world, and how to go into the glamour world is to get money, no matter how you get it, and get money at a very young age, in a youthful age. Stop learning, start getting money. This is something which we are making our young people very conscious of it. That how media is controlling our youth's energy and vitality and intellect to be to be their own selves and in the control of their own destiny. This is the latest weapon that is coming through uh, and is considered like uh, that every educated person supposed to be good in media should be following. The media should cover that person. He or she is successful with a great degree and everything. Uh, this one is very challenging, and I wonder how the education system, the school systems of the country, which has no direction how to use education for nation's uplifting and to help young people grow into leadership positions across the country. I have no idea how this huge amount of investments that take place in the formal education system, what are they aiming for? What are they going to get out of it? What are their objectives? We are a non-formal organization. We have not registered ourselves. I know the moment I'll go to register my university, they will put me into a criteria that I have to fulfill, which will again exclude a lot of young people because they cannot fulfill the entry test or the entrance requirements of a university. And this university will also become the same. So we are not after giving degrees. It's diplomas or certificates. And that's how we would like to stand. And I hope more and more people who has interest in to create societal change through education should follow these models that comes from the heart, that comes from the reality of a history of how to analyze the fakeness, how to analyze what you see is not true, what is not real, the ability to do research, at least some efforts to go into the depth before adopting it, before taking it on. Our system of education is not creating leaders. They don't have any intention of creating leaders. It's all for slavery. Follow a system. This is a structure of creating slavery in a very beautiful way, which is acceptable. Thank you.